the first season of the Sunday SITREP.
It's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the 13th episode of the Sunday SITREP. Today, we're diving into the NATTY. It was a fun time, huh, Nick?
It was a good time for sure.
It was an absolute blast, man.
The fishing was...
Yeah, the fishing was a little tough, but what we were planning on for the brotherhood aspect of it was second to none. I mean,
oh yeah,
everybody hanging out and whatnot. I mean, it was an absolute blast. Despite some hurricane conditions, and I mean, there was a lot of stones thrown to try to knock us off the rails, but everybody pulled through, and it for the most part, and it worked out pretty good. I think, at least. We're gonna let a few more folks get in here. Nick, I don't know what happened, but you went black. There you are.
I was trying to on there.
Oh, there you go. We'll let a few more folks load up in here real quick. Make sure you guys are doing the like, share, and comment hashtag #DSitRep for a chance to win. We're just doing a t-shirt today. Do you have one of those sitting around? Or it's the one you wore a couple weeks ago, right? No worries. No worries.
I can.
Oh, you're gonna get one? Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. Either way. All right. We're gonna do the t-shirt today. Ran out of the hats finally, and we'll try to get some more of those here soon and start doing those again. But make sure y'all are putting it just like it is right there on the screen, Mr. Fulmer. You gotta put the pound sign or the hashtag right there before it, just so you're tracking, or it won't count it. But make sure y'all do that. We're gonna go over the national championship event results, but before that, we're gonna go over. I mean, that's the whole topic of the conversation tonight. So before we get into any of that, we're gonna go over the results from Georgia's second Open that just happened this weekend. So they had a tournament yesterday out of Broyles. He had to move ramps from Gum Branch due to the hurricane effects. The Gum Branch boat ramp, or the dock, I guess, is just gone. Like a lot of the lakes around here got pretty messed up. But so they moved it up to the Broyles boat ramp, the public launch there. They had 7 boats show up. Definitely have a feeling that the hurricane played a toll on that. A lot of people weren't wanting to get out there with all the debris in the water. I'm sure there's still probably a little bit floating around out there. I didn't really check up. I don't know how bad Hartwell got it, but a lot of western South Carolina, northeastern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and western North Carolina got hit pretty dang hard with that stuff. I mean, it was pretty wild. But 7 boats showed up. Congratulations to Max Heaton and Will Hart. They had 19 pounds, 11 ounces with a 5-fish limit with a 5.6 kicker on Hartwell this weekend. Pretty dang good for Hartwell in the middle of October, for sure. That water hasn't really started cooling down yet, so pretty dang good. Dang good. Yeah, exactly. Miss Hunt said, they didn't have power for a week. A lot of that whole part of the state just was out for a long time. No power, no water, trees down everywhere. I mean, it was absolute chaos around here for sure. We got lucky down here. We're pretty blessed where I'm at here in South Carolina. But if you take Columbia and draw a line kind of northwest, everything northwest of it just got destroyed. And parts of Columbia got pretty messed up as well.
Which is crazy because I heard that's the area that if you move to that area, you don't really have to worry about hurricanes too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, when has eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina ever been devastated by a hurricane like that? I mean, a dam collapsed. I mean, there's still people without a power. I mean, when I come
some
home,
of those towns in North Carolina, you saw that completely gone.
Oh, yeah. Asheville is still destroyed. Well, I came through Asheville last night on my way here from Kentucky, and there's still linemen. I mean, there's an outlet mall there on 26, and as far as you could see was line trucks where they're still there working power outages. It's pretty crazy. And then Florida getting ripped up like they just did again. I mean, they just took 2 to the chin right back to back.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks really bad, but I know the linemen are loving it. They're making some money right now for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're getting pretty tired at this point, though.
Oh, I guarantee it. On the road like that, it definitely
Yeah.
wears you out for sure. But the only upcoming event that we have coming up for the AFFL is 23 November. Georgia is running their final open tournament. It's a benefit tournament as well. They're going to have it out of Gum Branch, hopefully, if there is a dock by then. I'm assuming, I didn't ask Philip this. Philip, if you're watching, please confirm or deny for me. I'm assuming the alternate would be Broyles again if you can't use Gum Branch. But that is a benefit for the Madison County Shop with a Cop benefit. So they're going to be giving $10 per boat to that event as well. So, pretty awesome little deal. He's done a benefit for all 3 of his opens, and I'm digging it pretty good. I think a lot of the people around there are as well. I like that idea a lot. For sure. I like that idea a lot. But yeah, what do you got, Nick? What do you want to talk about the Natty? I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. First, that's a T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Backwards on the camera, sorry.
Yep.
So that has that logo on the front, super lightweight. The back has the logo small, and then it's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood. Different colors available too. So when you go on the, if you win the giveaway, go on the website, go under PX/BX, and then go to that T-shirt, and then just let us know what color and size, and we'll get it sent out to you.
I love that green.
Yeah.
That kind of OD green with the dark.
And they're super comfortable too.
Yeah, they're soft.
Really, yeah,
for
nice.
Sure.
Yeah, the National was a good time. I had a blast. It was nice. Finally, I see all the names in the chat now, and I can put a face to them. You know, that's what I like about it, because I just see these names come through, and then I see the memberships come through, and I've been dying to meet everybody, and I'm glad it finally happened.
It was cool, man. I mean, it was a blast. We've been talking about the brotherhood since the beginning, and it's cool to finally see it all come together that way. For sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was cool seeing all the different states get together.
And Louisiana got put to shame after talking crap on here the whole time. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. Told y'all South Carolina was coming for it. But yeah, and we appreciate all the support. Everyone there was so supportive of everything.
You're getting them all fired up now, Austin.
Oh yeah, Mr. Barnes is firing up. Yeah, we'll see. Gunnersville's gonna be fun. We haven't got to that yet, but Gunnersville will be fun. It would have been, first and second if Gage and Bobby were able to make it. It'd have been first and second, but for sure. We're South
get ahead
Carolina.
of ourselves there.
Yeah, I know. It was a blast, man. I keep saying that because I honestly feel that way. I mean, it was an absolute blast.
Oh yeah.
But what do you think? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was such a good time, just meeting everybody, hanging out, and the resort. I have to say a huge thank you to Blue Water. If this ever makes it back to them, I mean, the staff was super friendly, location was awesome. Anything we needed, they were on top of it right away.
Absolutely. And like you said, the staff was friendly, like every single one of them.
Every single one. I didn't meet one person there that
right
had a negative attitude at all. Like everybody was super friendly and helpful.
Yep. I mean, they were ready to jump on whatever we needed. I mean, it was definitely awesome.
Yeah.
For sure. And the location, like the way it was situated, like I'm blanking on my words here, but like the maneuverability of getting to the boat ramp and all that, the parking, everything was good. I know there were some people that didn't like the concrete boat ramp because of how steep it was, but they had that nice little alternate gravel ramp that no one had any issues with. I mean, it was awesome. The T dock over there, easy to walk up. A couple of boats could park on it. Smooth entrance and exit for the tournament. Like during the actual tournament hours. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Having the pavilion to do the meeting in and everybody hang out on the way in. Everything about it flowed really nice. There was no like hoofing it real far to bring fish or anything. I mean,
no, all right there. Yeah,
yeah,
gas,
it was.
you can fuel up right there. Like they had,
Yeah,
it's perfect setup.
it is. It really is. And you're right there in Dayton. I mean, what was it 5 minutes and you're down in
5
downtown
minutes.
Dayton? Everything you need right there.
Tackle shop, restaurants, food stores, anything. Yeah. And the rooms, from what I heard, like we stayed in the river house with a group, but that was really nice. But I heard the rooms were top notch too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Everything there was just squared away and perfect. I mean, couldn't really ask for it better. Bob just said it right here. Yeah, it'll be hard to beat that location.
Definitely. Sure. Oh, and if you guys have the time too, the manager there asked if you enjoyed the stay, just go on there and leave them a good review, and just help them spread the word about their location. So if you guys have the time to do it, just get on there and leave them a good review if you don't mind.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So do you want to dive into 2025?
Yeah. So 2025, we are going to Lake Gunnersville in Alabama for the Nationals. So the way we're trying to rotate it is do like hit the different regions. So like Tennessee's kind of middle. It's pushing the limits of the middle, but it's the middle of the country. So next year we're going to go a little further south. So after that, you can bet we're going north for 2026. Absolutely. So we're just going to keep rotating it like that to try and break up the drive for people each year. But yeah, Gunnersville is up next.
Right. And it kind of gives everybody an advantage based off their region a little bit,
Yeah.
Like you guys will get your smallmouth advantage up there on the St. Lawrence or one of those. And I think it'll be fun for all the Southern guys. It gives us a reason to make that trip up and target smallies like that, for sure.
Well, that's what I like about going like Chickamauga and Gunnersville. Like these are lakes that I've always wanted to fish.
Exactly.
It's just a haul, but now there's a reason to go down there.
There's incentive to it. Yeah, it's definitely nice. But yeah, you got anything you want to hit before we bring in Jeremiah?
Yeah, so Jeremiah and his partner Gage, right? That's who's.
Yep, Gage Spagnolia.
So they are going. They accepted the invitation to the Bassmaster Team Championship. I know there's been some questions about that, because Austin and Jeremiah fished together. Austin didn't even plan on fishing this event. The reason we did this is because there was a hurricane. We all know about it. People were without power. And I couldn't let someone throw their season away for something that was out of their control.
Right.
Up until basically the day of the tournament. I mean, from what I was gathering, Gage was uncertain if he was going to be able to make it or not because they had no power. A lot of people didn't have power. None of us would ever leave our family behind to go fish a tournament. Just to go fish and leave your family without power, running water, and all that. So we got together and we all agreed that we're going to let Austin and Jeremiah fish together. And it is what it is. I mean, just put yourself in their shoes. If any one of you had a natural disaster hit your hometown, you could make it and your partner couldn't, we would do the same thing for you. I can't just let someone throw their whole season away. So it's not like they went out and were like, okay, I'm going to go find a local stick on that lake and win the tournament. It wasn't like that at all. This was strictly because of the natural disaster that happened.
Right. And I didn't even get any practice time with him.
Yeah, you didn't.
I just jumped in the boat with him for the first time Friday morning.
Yeah. And you guys don't normally fish together either.
Yeah, never. That's the first time I've ever been in his boat. Yep.
Yeah. So it was just that's why we did that. So I hope that puts the concerns and questions to rest. We would do the same for any one of our anglers had that situation come up. Hopefully it never happens again.
Right.
But yeah, that's what happened. So
Absolutely.
Moving forward, we are going to we talked about it. We're going to make some adjustments to the rules. I know the rules say no subs for nationals. October is a new fiscal year for the military, so that makes it very difficult for military active duty to come down during that time frame.
Right.
So we're going to make some adjustments. Stuff like this happens, so it'll be a case-by-case basis for substitutes for nationals. Again, we're not going to allow someone to go and pick a local hammer on whatever lake we're fishing as their sub. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So just know that this was just out of the kindness of our hearts to allow this. We couldn't let someone throw their whole season away.
Right. Especially because all the guys had already paid their lodging fees. I mean, everything was paid for and ready to rock. And then that hurricane hit us that weekend. I mean, and it did some damage for sure. It definitely did some damage for sure. Well, you want to get to the fishing talk?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to bring in Jeremiah. He's the boater. I was basically just riding along with him. I'll let him do all the fishing talking. I was a net man for the most part. Yeah. He caught all the bigs for sure.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Everything's clean and clear. What's up, man?
Okay. I'm stationary now. Doing well. Glad to be with you guys.
Yeah. Did you, before we dive into the fishing too hard, what was your overall perspective of the tournament?
Well, I was excited for several reasons just to go. My favorite technique to fish is throwing a frog, topwater frog. And so when I saw we were going to Chickamauga, I thought, well, this is perfect. I'm just going to pack 3 rods, and that's all I'm going to do the whole week. And it was going to be fun doing that. And of course, based on the conditions at the lake, that all changed during the course of the tournament. But really, what I was looking forward to most was a fun road trip with my buddy Gage, hanging out with all the anglers at the tournament, meeting everybody that I see on this podcast every week. And outside of a handful of our guys from South Carolina not being able to make it because of the weather, all that was there, and it was fun. It was a pleasure to meet everybody. The setup, like you guys were saying, kind of the lead in was just fantastic. Like the location was perfect. It really was. Everybody had a place to hang out there. Everything you needed was close by, and then the Blue Water Lodge there really is. I mean, their whole business is based off bass fishing, so it's really fun to be around people that are geared that way and like they're set up for fishing, and so that made the venue perfect. So, big kudos to you, Nick, and all the other directors that helped you. Basically, set this all up, plan it, execute it, and like I said, other than just unforeseen circumstances where a couple of guys from South Carolina were literally, stuck, can't do it. I thought it just was basically flawless as far as, hosting a tournament. So I wanted to say that up the top was just well done all the way around by everybody that was either in the planning or the implementation of the whole thing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Definitely a lot of work, and I think that's what was so satisfying about just seeing everybody together and enjoying themselves for something that we've been planning for almost a year now. It was awesome. It was a good time. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of work is an understatement. I mean, there's a lot that went into all that for sure. For sure.
And it's just going to keep going.
And I know the fishing was very difficult, and I think it was really primarily because it had gotten really warm. The lead up to it had gotten warm, so we didn't have any of that fall cool down yet. Their transition hadn't really begun, And then throw in on top of that the fact there's 125,000 cubic feet per second of water going through the lake.
Right.
And yeah, everything was the window. So I hope everyone had a fun time. I mean, I was excited because I'd never been there before in my life. You know, I've seen videos or read in Bassmaster magazine and stuff about it, and I knew it was a top frog place, so I was excited for that aspect of it. And that's not what I did to catch fish in the tournament. I sort of evolved as the tournament went. So,
can we get you to disconnect your Bluetooth real quick? We're getting a lot of feedback. I think it's like static.
Absolutely.
Let's see if that
yeah,
fixes it real quick.
Just give me 1 second here.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. It was not that bad, and then it feels like it's just getting worse. Let's hear how you sound now.
Is that better?
Oh, much more better.
Much better. Okay, good.
Yeah, much.
That's
more
fine
better.
for me as long as that's good for you guys.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no feedback, nothing. Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay, sorry about that.
Cool.
I'm
No, you're
definitely
good. You're
not
good.
a technology person.
I thought earlier when we were talking towards the end, before, I thought it was just because you were driving. I guess maybe it is that Bluetooth stuff. I don't know why this system doesn't like Bluetooth, but it doesn't. But yeah.
So walk us. You guys won it, right? So walk us through. You know, during practice, what were you guys doing during practice?
Okay, so I was kind of in the same boat as a little bit as far as up until probably Tuesday, I wasn't even sure I was coming. We had power at my house, but there were trees down everywhere, and I had people around, friends staying with us because they had no power. So there was a lot of turmoil, and I hadn't really even fully decided, yeah, I'm going to go until Tuesday night. So I didn't get up there until Wednesday afternoon. And when I got there, I put the boat in the water, and I had about 3 hours Wednesday afternoon. And I was like, okay.
Oh, we lost him.
We lost his audio.
We lost you.
Yeah.
I think it might be your internet connection.
How about now? Sorry about
yeah, now
that.
you sound right.
Okay. Anyway, so Wednesday afternoon, about 3 hours fishing time, threw a frog. I had 2 bites, and they were both nice ones, but it was only 2 bites. Thursday, I went back and ran some more areas, checked some more areas that I thought had grass.
So you were still holding on the frog bite.
4 or 5 bites, still working on the frog bite. And I had enough bites that I thought, hey, this is something that if I commit to it and just do it all day, I could maybe catch 5. But I wasn't really thinking it was really anything that was going to work. I thought I better have a fallback plan. So I ran up the lake 10, 15 miles from our takeoff creek and fished a couple boat ramps that were basically like on the inside turn of the river, kind of protruded out into the river a little bit, caused a current break. And when I got there, right away, I had 3 or 4 bites in a row. Every species of fish in the lake was living there. I caught drum, catfish, white bass.
You'll spill the beans here. What were you throwing?
Yeah, everything. I'll tell you everything that I figured out. In a few bass, but they were small. And so in the tournament, I thought I'm doing the frog thing, and then if that fails, I'm gonna go try and catch some 12-inch spotted bass off of the little boat ramps and the little rock points that I found. And so, Austin was in the boat with me on the tournament morning, and we spent 4 hours throwing a frog. He had 3 blow-ups, put 2 in the boat, 1 keeper. I had 2 blow-ups and didn't hook either one of them. And so we had 1 fish in the boat at roughly 12 o'clock on Friday. And I was like,
15-incher, like on the dot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It
not a
was
good one.
basically just a squeaker keeper.
Mhm.
And so I was thinking, well, our tournament's over. Let's go just see if we can't. I had bites up there. I didn't know if we'd catch any keepers, but I thought let's go give it a shot. Like I'm done doing this now. Let's try something different. So we ran up to that first boat ramp and we caught what 5 or 6, but they were all
Yeah.
shorts.
Mhm.
They were all shorts, but they were all like 14 and 7/8. Like
What did you guys
Yeah.
catch them on when you were at the boat?
let's see, we caught squarebill, DT6, rock crawler.
So crank.
I think 4 different crankbaits.
Yeah.
So we were basically fishing a shad color crankbait. I guess we did catch a couple on a crawdad color pattern as well.
Yeah.
But basically anywhere from 3 to like 10 feet we were fishing. So like we'd make a few casts up shallow with like a square bill or a shallower runner, and make a few casts in that 6 to 8, and then make a few that were a little farther out. And we got bit at every depth.
Yeah.
We would just kind of hit each depth, and we had enough action there that even though we didn't have any more keeper, we're still on one keeper in the boat. I thought, well, hey, we had enough bites that this is a potential pattern. So we ran and literally just found rock. Like we were just looking for a rock that did not have grass all over it, so that we could get a cast with a crankbait without getting hung up. And we ended up fishing like some natural rock, riprap. It's anything that was hard. And then if there was wood in it. So like we figured out as the day went on, we kind of figured out as if we had a good stretch of rock, but there was a tree in it that you could get a cast through without getting hung on grass, even better.
Yeah.
And so we ended up catching 2 keeper largemouth. And then so we had 3 in the box. And this is now we're talking like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Thank you, I guess, that we ended up fishing till 4 because we needed every minute. And then what was really crazy was smallmouth bass showed up. I'd have bet you $1,000 we were never going to have a problem with. We can only keep one smallmouth. I didn't think we'd even catch a keeper smallmouth, and we ended up catching 3 or 4. I think.
Yeah.
Like we ended up catching one. Like, oh, well, this is crazy. We got a keeper smallmouth in the live well. Isn't that cool? Austin was all excited to show the New Hampshire guys that we could catch a smallmouth. And I'm thinking this is not good because if we catch another one, that does us no good, And sure enough, we end up catching like 3 or 4 more.
Mhm.
So we ended up throwing away like at least 3 3-pound fish because we couldn't keep them.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we ended up getting our 5th. We had right at 14 pounds. And then so yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a Hail Mary, to be honest with you. Like I had an idea we could catch fish doing it. My goal in doing it was to catch some 12-inch spots. That's what I thought I was going after.
Yeah.
And it ended up being every fish in the lake lived there. Like Austin caught like a
crazy
8 or 10 pound drum. He caught a blue cat that probably weighed 10 pounds. I caught a channel cat that weighed probably 8 pounds. I had like a 40-inch gar jumping like a tarpon up there.
It was a big.
So like only fish, like I don't even know what is in the river that I didn't catch, but we caught everything up there. So we had to sort through them to get stuff that we could weigh in. But it really we went from the super low, like we thought tournament over, we're going to come in with 1 fish to, hey, we might be in this thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it was one of those days. It was a lot of it was a grinder of a day, but it was a rewarding, fun day at the end of it because we kind of stumbled onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could tell you guys were all jacked up when you came into the weigh-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't trying to be too secretive. Like I was willing to tell people, what we were doing to some degree, but I also thought, we only spent 3 hours doing it on day 1. I figured if we could spend all day on day 2 doing it, that we might really have something, and it ended up we did. Although day 2 was tougher.
Yeah.
We ended up with more weight, but I think we only caught half the fish, even though we spent twice the time doing it. And I don't know. I think the flow, like the river had slacked off a lot. so the current wasn't as strong, which it was crazy. I got a ghost trolling motor. It was on 8, and I could just barely maintain my position on day 1. Day 2, I was on 5, and I was gaining ground. So it definitely slacked off, and I think that may have impacted the bites, like the number of bites. But we got lucky and caught that big one. That was that was the second bite of the morning. And I hooked that fish, and I was like, this is a great big drum again, and then it wasn't. It was that big largemouth. So, just
crankbait.
Yeah. So every fish we weighed was on a crankbait.
Yeah.
It wasn't one crankbait. There was at least 3 or 4 different crankbaits. Like I said, we had a square bill, a DT6, a rock crawler. I threw a shad wrap a little bit.
I threw a frit side a little bit.
Yeah, frit side. They all caught fish. And I think we had a couple bites on a shaky head, maybe, or flipping, but I don't think any of those ever made it in the live. Like they either weren't keepers or they were cold out.
Right.
Everything we weighed was on a winding bait.
That seems like, just from talking to people, myself included, the only bites I could get was on a square bill. I had a couple on a fluke, but I just couldn't find size. And it seems like everybody I was talking to, I mean, Jared's commenting right now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it was a crankbait bite for sure, but you guys found the area where the size was.
It was probably like a mile stretch.
Yeah, I mean, once we got a bite, I probably made an error to some degree, because I just literally was like, it was so hard to get a bite that once I got a bite, I was just like, okay, we're just going to fish every foot until we haven't had a bite in a long time. And we literally had the trolling motor down and just going. It was at least a mile. Without, like, it wasn't like we were finding sweet spots. I'm sure if we had, we were thinking better, we would have refined our pattern and hit the highlights and kept moving. But it was just literally just fish everything.
Some of them were kind of random. Like some of them.
Yeah, we would occasionally get a bite. There was some subtle things that I feel like, I probably give myself too much credit, but I feel like I figured a couple things where there was like rises in the bottom. Like the shoreline looked the same, but there was a high spot. So there was like a vertical eddy being created. Where like we had the boat like in 12 feet and we were casting into 3. And so we'd come off that ledge. And then once we had the boat up into 3, we wouldn't get bites. And then once we get another deep spot where there was like a vertical eddy, we'd start getting bites again. But a lot of it was just pure visual. Like there's a lay down, throw across the end of it, get a bite.
Right.
So it was sort of a mix of all that. And yeah, it was 100% legit. Like I felt like, hey, it was a good decision to do it. But the reality is my goal was 12-inch spotted bass. That's what I thought I was fishing for.
Right.
I would have taken some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was in punt mode. I told Austin, I was like it was like 11:30 or so on Friday. And he'd put the only fish in the box on the frog. I had a couple bites, but, I'm not even sure they were keepers, or if they would have been barely keepers. And I was just like, we know there's fish in this creek where we're fishing. We could just sit here for the rest of the day and just see what happens, or just wing it and just Hail Mary it a little bit. And I had bites on that boat ramp and on a little rocky stretch the day before. And I thought, hey, let's just do something different. I'm tired of dragging a frog across a perfect looking mat and having nothing happen over and over and over. So
yeah.
But anyway, it was really sort of a quasi accident, to some degree, that we found what we found. And I don't know if it's just because it looks so bad, no one else fishes it.
It doesn't.
That's what I do back home.
Yeah.
A lot of times back home, like there's so much fishing pressure, like on Lake Murray or Lake Watery or whatever around here, that I intentionally look for banks that have nothing attractive on them and fish those. because I know if there's any fish there that maybe they haven't been hit by 100 fishing lures.
Yeah.
Right. I
But
definitely
yeah, that's
think
basically the recap of the fishing. It was it was in a lot of ways an accident. Yeah, Bobby, I see you're shushing me. There's no secret here. It was just throwing crankbaits. It wasn't some magic lure. It wasn't really even a magic spot. I think it was just changing. It was like I had gotten so fed up with what we were doing. I wanted to do the exact opposite and just see what would happen. So
I just couldn't get over the current in that place. Like, I mean, I understand why, but I just remember first day of practice going up to a bluff wall, and it didn't look like it was really that bad. And then I shut the big motor off, and I just remember the boat just drifting at like 4 or 5 miles an hour, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So the first spot that we fished the current in the current break of that little boat ramp, I could hold the boat there relative. Like I was on like 5 or 6, and I could hold. And I thought, let's go up here. There's another like a similar looking spot where there's like, kind of a corner there's a boat ramp and there's like some riprap. And like I said, I had made a couple casts there the day before and caught a couple spots there. So we went up there, put the trolling motor in water. I could barely maintain position at 8 on the trolling motor. And I'm just thinking, there's no way there's fish here. They're going to be hiding behind something. And there's nothing there. But they weren't. They were right in the middle. I think there might have been boulders on the bottom. They were hiding behind a boulder on the bottom or whatever. But the current was so fast it did not seem feasible, and yet they were there. So
it was weird. The first day, that bigger largemouth you caught, the 3.5, it was. I think it was a 3.5, or it was just smaller than the smallmouth, and that one was in the fastest current on a natural rock.
Absolutely. That was what was bizarre too, we caught our best largemouth in the fastest current in pure rock. We caught all the smallmouth in the slack water out of laydowns. So just wad the textbook up and throw it away.
Yeah.
That was not what was going on at that place.
Yeah.
That was weird. It was kind of bewildering. And then we had Austin caught 2 non-keeper smallmouth to start, and we were like, wow, there actually are smallmouth in this place. Wouldn't it be cool if we caught a keeper and we could actually take a smallmouth into the weigh-in? And then once we caught the second one, I was like, okay, this is not good because we can only bring one of these. And I think we ended up catching 2 more. And that one was an awesome one. It was a little bit skinny, but it was like a 21 incher, which is in my book a really nice smallmouth.
Oh yeah, especially in Tennessee. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah, no, I would have bet you about any amount of money that we were not going to tangle with any smallmouth at Chickamauga when I was driving there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I was not expecting that at all. I know me and Nick, we talked about it in the beginning about doing split lunker pots and all that, and I was like, dude, there's no chance. There's no need. I kind of screwed us, I guess, because we could have had the big smallmouth in the tournament, but
it was cool too because at one point we had in our bag we had a largemouth, smallmouth, and a spot because we ended up we had 2 spots that were over 2 pounds. Yeah. And we eventually culled it. So we culled it out, but we almost brought in all 3 species. So that was kind of cool, and I'm pretty sure Austin and I both caught a slam of keeper size, all
small
3 species.
Largemouth and spots. Yeah, we both had the slam. It was pretty cool. It was neat. I've never done that.
And we also managed the trash fish slam as well.
Yeah, I think we had every caught predator fish.
Yeah, I was just waiting for like a buffalo, one of those big mouth buffaloes to get snagged.
Yeah,
at any minute, because that's what it felt like was happening there for a while. It was just one trash fish after another coming in.
Absolutely.
I don't mean to get off topic, but can you see? I just have to show you this now that we're talking about smallmouth. The guy on the St. Lawrence River just broke the record again with a 9-pound smallmouth.
My goodness. What do you?
And
I
we
mean,
are,
I had to show you that because we're
and
talking
you're
about
sure we want to go to Gunnersville next year?
I mean, those 3-pound smallies in that current are just brutal, mean digging on a crankbait. I can't
Oh,
imagine
you
a
swear
9-pounder.
you have like a 5-6 pounder on the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Everything in that current felt crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That drum you caught.
It whipped my butt.
Did I send you? Did I send you a picture of that, Austin?
I think you did. Yeah.
You need to
I
put
think
that
you
up
did.
on the because I mean I'm talking about that was a specimen.
It was a big one.
That thing was a legit drum right there for sure. I was a little frustrated because we wasted so much of our fishing day.
Oh,
Like 10 minutes
I
of
don't know if it's
time.
gonna show up.
You going?
I can't find the
there it
screen.
is.
There it is.
There you go. You got it there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's
that was like 10 minutes
Yeah.
fight right there to get that thing in. I was like, we could have caught 2 more fish by now if we hadn't been fighting this thing.
yeah.
Of
And that
course,
was
I
the
have
first.
nightmares about drum because you get a crankbait in a drum's mouth, you're just asking for trouble. Like you're going to end up with a hook in your hand,
Oh,
dangling a giant drum from the end of it, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's a good one. So overall, would you guys? I know the fishing was tough, but in the future, would you guys go back to Chickamauga?
I think so.
Oh
I
yeah,
would.
maybe I think that I think that it was either we were there a little early perhaps, but also it was abnormally warm. Like in the aftermath of that hurricane, even the week before leading up to the hurricane, and then the week after, it was mid 80s. I mean, I packed long sleeve shirts, pants, and shoes to wear for this tournament. I wore shorts and flip flops the entire time and a sun shirt, and I was hot. I drank a gallon of water every day. That should not be that way in October. So between the weather being kind of abnormally warm and then the amount of flow, like there's always current in the all TVA lakes have current flowing through them, but that was extreme. That was probably at least double normal current. So I think that we just caught a bad break as far as the conditions were. I mean, I don't think it was a poor choice for a lake at all. I was excited. I'd never been there before. I heard a lot about it, so I was excited to go. So, I feel like the choice of going there, and then I absolutely the choice of the venue at Blue Water was really good options.
Oh yeah, if we ever go back there, I mean, Blue Water, hands down, would be the spot to do it at.
Absolutely. I mean they knocked it out of the park for us. I mean that place was definitely it.
Yeah. You know what else I really liked about the National was I gotta say thanks again to Brock and his family for cooking up that gumbo that night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Even though I still believe there's a little bit of an ulterior motive there to get all the non-Louisiana teams on the bank in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely delicious. I mean, yeah.
It was good. I definitely saw some people scurrying up the stairs before takeoff, but
oh yeah, there was a few folks.
See,
yeah.
See, it didn't bother me any. I love gumbo. My family always jokes that I'm Cajun because I was born at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
All right.
So my family, everyone calls me Cajun, even though I'm obviously not. But I enjoy spicy food. So when that was presented as the meal, I thought, all right, this is awesome. So big thanks to everyone that put that together. That was an all around good night, and that was a really good dinner too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That whole meeting and everything. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a good atmosphere, and the gumbo was definitely the meat of the cake on that. I mean, it was.
Oh man,
it was good. Yeah, they told me they corrected me. I got corrected. I was eating it with a fork, and they were like, "You gotta eat it with a spoon. What are you doing?" Kind of, and I was like, "I didn't know," so I grabbed a spoon.
When they're dishing up, you got to ask for extra salt. You want more broth, extra broth.
Yeah.
That's That's a
I don't know if I
compliment.
can handle more broth, man. I was at my limit with that one.
I loved it. I would eat it right now.
Delicious.
Yeah, it was very good.
Dave, I sweat for 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, we double clicked. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was good. It was definitely good. Yeah, that I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
overall, every minute of it was a blast, even though we were busy with a bunch of other things going on. And I mean, it was still, every minute of it was a blast. It was cool.
It was.
Except
it was
getting a ticket on the way down in there by the state trooper coming into Dayton. But that kind of sucked. $214 later. But so for everybody else's future reference, don't go 72 and a 55 down there. Yeah, it was not mild.
But he said it was mild. He said that's mild.
Oh, that's well for them. Yeah, that's probably mild. For everybody else, that's not mild.
So, Jeremiah, you going? So you accepted the invite to go to the Ouachita River in Louisiana. How
Yep.
Are you excited for that? Are you familiar with that body of water at all?
Not at all. The extent of my information is a couple of YouTube videos that I've seen. I am excited to go there. I know there's some sort of talk because I guess the Corps of Engineers is working on something there, whether it's going to still stay there or going to move to another venue or not. But I personally am hoping it stays there. That's just my style of fishing. I like shallow. I like dirty water. I like heavy cover. So even if, I may be up against it a little bit, if there's teams in the area down there, it's at least a style of fishing that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, be a fun trip and fun fishing,
Yeah.
So
new body of water.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go try and catch everything I can. That's what I always do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be
for everybody.
It'll be a good time.
Real quick. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's going to be a good time for him. It's setting up. It seems like you said, it's setting up for your style. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the same stuff I was doing at Chickamauga is probably what I'll try and do. I'll, moving baits and maybe an occasional flipping bait.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He puts on a clinic with the crankbait. That's for sure. That's for sure. There was a couple periods there. I mean, I feel like a lot of them were short fish, but when we got up to that clean part of the rock wall away from all the laydowns, I mean, it was just like every other cast he was hooked up on a fish. I mean, it was weird on the first day. The second day wasn't.
What were you guys saying about because when I've gone down to like Hartwell and West Point and like lakes like that, when I caught a spotted bass, I could pick that thing up and I knew just by looking at it right away that it was a spotted bass. Like the spots are so defined on the side, the belly's really white. Like I knew 100% as soon as it came out of the water that it was a spot. That I just verified with the tongue. What were you guys saying about? It's a different strand of spots that we were fishing.
Those are Kentucky bass.
Kentucky
so
bass.
You have Kentucky and Coosa River spotted bass. They're two separate. I mean, are they species or would they be subspecies? You're probably better with that than me, Jeremiah. I think we lost him, or he's really good at playing frozen.
I think we lost him.
I think we lost him. He might back out and come back in. But you have Coosa River bass, and you have Kentucky spotted bass, and I believe those that we seen in there, those are Kentucky bass. They're not as defined in their colorations as the Coosa River bass. Like if you go to Smith Lake in Alabama, those spots, or Lanier even, those spots are just like Hartwell's, where it's clean as day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's a spotted bass. And some of those ones on Chickamauga they have a little similarity to a largemouth, but If you really sit down there and you were kind of watching me, I know it was a little hectic on the second day, and I was like showing people exactly like all the aspects that make it a spot versus a largemouth.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you for
people were
doing
starting
that.
to get it. Yeah. Because there definitely were some largemouth that were brought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, those are but I've been around them a bunch because in Kentucky, like where I grew up wading the creeks and stuff, I mean, you catch those little spots, largemouth and little red eye and smallmouth every day. I mean, in those creeks, you never know what you got. It's one of those four or a sunfish.
I did. I had a hard time a couple of times with those spots, like looking at them, like, I don't know. That's when I started texting you. I'm like, what is this thing?
Yeah. The jaw, I think, is the easiest way. If the burr is not like crazy to find, the jaw, I think, is the easiest way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do the shut mouth jaw line. If it's even with the back of the eye or beyond, it's a largemouth. And if it's center of the eye or in front, it's obvious. A lot of times I'll do the open mouth. If you're holding the fish with your thumb like you normally would, if the circumference of that mouth is like basically the size of the fish, it's a largemouth every single time. A smallmouth is gonna, or not a small, a spotted bass is gonna be like half the size when you hold it. It'll be half of its body diameter.
Yeah, I never even
and then
looked at that until you showed me that out there.
The
on
dorsal
water. Yeah.
fin, the dorsal fin too. The tongue spot, the tongue patch is usually really clear, but there were so many fish that had wounds in their mouth from like being hooked and stuff, and like deformities in their mouth, that there was a little bit of ambiguity there. But the dorsal fin too is like textbook. The spot does not go all the way down to their back, where a largemouth does, where there's actually almost like two separate fins on their back.
Right.
And the spot, they will be, and there's more bones. Like, if we're gonna get real technical, there's more spines on one than the other. But every spot that I caught on that lake, I knew instantly that it was a spot versus a largemouth. But if you're not used to catching spots, I can definitely see where there'd be confusion.
It's just hard for me because like when I went to Hartwell with Austin, like those things, you pull them out and it's a spot, no questions asked. Like they're so bright, you know. It's
yeah. I think part of that is the clarity of the water. So
right,
if you have stained water, their markings are going to be less distinct. They'll be more pale. If you have pale, like largemouth that's in really deep water or in dirty water will be pale. Same thing with a spotted bass. So a lot of those real telltale markings will be a little bit fainter. And I think that the water was a little bit more stained than normal from all the current, and that may have affected just like how obvious the markings were.
right.
But I think it has to do with familiarity. There's I'm so used to seeing them that it's like it was really easy for me to tell. But I could definitely get guys that aren't around spotted bass how there would be some slight confusion there for sure.
Yeah. So the ones on Gunnersville are the same strand that we were catching.
Yes, and I have caught spotted bass on Gunnersville before, but again, to me, they were obvious. It was not even close. And I would say there's fewer. I haven't been on Gunnersville in several years, but when I was there, I think the population is significantly less. Like, it's primarily dominated by largemouth. Like 90%.
Florida strains, bunches of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. I think
and hopefully it won't matter. Hopefully we'll get there won't be any. Is it? Is the 12-incher? Is it? Everything will be over 15, so you don't have to worry about it anyway.
I was just laughing at this picture. I was gonna pull it. I was gonna show it on the camera. This is the one I sent to you guys. Like, man, I am stretching. If that's the fish that I'm. That's what I was banking on that day. Like, what is this? But yeah, I'm hoping that the stars align for us, and after what we went through this year with weather on Chick, that Gunnersville will be
nice smooth sailing.
Good bags weighed in, and
it was the first national. There had to be a curveball in there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it won't be the last either.
Right.
Well,
Right.
anytime you're bringing people together from that kind of distances, everybody's got so much travel, to deal with. And you're trying to get everybody together and you're trying to organize it in a central location like that. There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
And my feel was, considering what had just happened to a lot of people that were coming to the tournament, and then also in relative proximity to the tournament. I mean, there were major highways that people would have driven on to get there that were gone, that are now gone. So all that considered, I don't think you could have done a better job. I mean, I really don't think there's any possible way it could have gone better. I mean, the way everything was handled, and I, as far as I know, everybody made it safely there, made it safely back home. So, well done all the way around.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, for sure. If you guys watching have anything you'd like to see at the next one too, just bring it up to your state director. Because when we have our meetings, we'll go over all that information, and I can't promise that everything that is brought up will happen, but we'll definitely try and make those changes and whatnot.
Louisiana, y'all got to convince Brock to make a gumbo every year, just not the night before the tournament next year. Let's do it like one of the first nights. We'll go through the system first.
They'll put a time delay in it or something.
Oh,
what is this?
Interesting. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, so if you don't have it, get it.
Yeah.
I saw where Bassmaster is doing the same thing. So
I think a lot of people.
I think if you're in anything that is affiliated with Bassmaster, after the first of this year, you have to take a boater safety course. My understanding is it's pretty straightforward. It's just the hassle of having to get it done more so than
I did mine.
Any kind of different.
I just had to go. Some states you can do it online. I went in person. It was like 6 hours or 8 hours or whatever. You sit through a class, take a test at the end, super easy, and you get your certificate in the mail. That's how mine was. I know some states do it online, but honestly, just do it because there is some good information in there. And like you said with Bassmaster, I haven't gotten that memo yet. I did see they put that out. I haven't seen it for the team series. I'm sure in your case, going to the national event for them, I'm willing to bet that's going to be one of the requirements.
Well, so I was looking at that because I don't have a car. So I actually taught a boater education class for a while when I worked for the Park Service years ago, but I don't have a card. But what I saw was as of January 1, 2025, they were going to start doing it. Yeah. So I don't think I need it for this coming up tournament.
I haven't had any word on that. Like everything that I know about the event, I've sent to you guys. If it does come down, I'll definitely, any information that comes down, I'll push out to you guys. But I can't see them changing that right now. I did see the 2025 thing though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else you want to cover? We're getting into that hour mark.
No, I think we're good. You have anything else you want to hit on, Jeremiah?
No, I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, there no secret stuff on any of the fishing stuff. Every single thing we did, I told Austin because he was asking me, "You want to tell everybody everything?" I was like, "Yeah, there's no secrets here. This was an accidental find, and we found it was literally there was no magic lure. It was just a handful of different. It was all shad patterns, pretty much. So anybody that wasn't anything. Anybody got any questions? You can hit me on Facebook or Instagram or something as well. But yeah, just it was definitely unexpected. I didn't know I was even coming until literally the Tuesday night. I wasn't even sure I was coming, and I really appreciated. I was going to be happy to fish by myself, no problems there, but I was very happy that you were, everybody, the directors were all understanding, and let Austin fish with me because I would have hated it if I had an open seat and then there was a guy stuck on the bank with no ride.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, it only made sense. And I'd never fished with Austin before, and it was great fishing with him. I really enjoyed the day. I know him a little bit because he's, you know, obviously the South Carolina director, but you know, not like you would know someone if you've spent 8 hours in a boat with them, especially 2 days in a row. So
yeah,
it was a blast.
That was
man.
a lot of fun.
Really
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely a blast, and I appreciate you putting me on him. It was fun. We caught him pretty good.
I mean, you saw how it happened. It was just because I told you, I was like, I about did my old trick where I have a little crankbait that I found stuck in a tree one time, where I just throw it up in the air, and whichever way the bill is pointing is the way I'm gonna go. And it almost came to that. Not quite, but almost.
That's funny.
Oh God.
That's funny.
Gage, yes, the points from this year will what qualifies you for next year's nationals, and that's how it's going to be every year moving forward. So next year, you'll be earning your points for the 2026 national.
Right. Easy money.
And then what else?
That's kind of what I was thinking. What Zach was saying. I think it's probably based on the state your boat's registered in. If any of the South Carolina guys need to get one, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's an open book test.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I would just honestly, if you're on the fence of getting it, just get it. Just have it. I'm almost positive it saves you a little money on your insurance too, having a boater safety course done. And then also, if you win and go on to the Bass Team Championship, it's going to be a requirement moving forward. So, just if you're on the fence, just do it.
Mm-hmm. And they should last a while. I don't know. My wallet on me. I was going to check mine, but I think South Carolina's is like 10 years.
I'm pretty sure once you do it, you've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lifetime thing. Oh,
yeah. So
like the old orange card for hunting, same concept.
Exactly.
Right?
So I used to work for Parks Department years and years ago, and I actually taught boater safety and hunter's ed class. And the irony is, I don't think I have either of those cards anymore. I could probably look it up and find that I actually do have it, but no, I'll just do it again. But that's what it is. I think once you've done that once, I think you're good. It may vary state to state, but that's the way it worked. This was back in Kansas. This was 20 years ago before I moved to South Carolina. That's how long ago that was.
Bill's saying that Alabama requires it from everyone in state and anglers coming from another state and fishing Alabama waters. So just get it done.
Yep. Get it done. We might be able to do some research on that too and just verify. If my boat's registered in South Carolina, can I come to Alabama and fish in Alabama with a South Carolina hunter or fishing?
It might be required too. Once we get that new packet from Bass, that might be one of the stipulations in there. So,
right. Easy money.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, I don't have anything else.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you talking with us. And thanks again for a great time out on the water and put me on them a little bit. I know we stumbled upon them, but it wasn't by accident. When you got the skill set that you have, you don't just stumble upon things. Something inclined you to go that way, and we did, and it worked. That's how I believe. And obviously, I think the good Lord had a little bit of a play in that too, for sure. Absolute blessing. But man, you got anything else?
Thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate everything both of you guys do, the whole organization, everybody involved in it, top notch guys all the way around. Really is.
Appreciate you and appreciate the support from you guys coming out. I mean, y'all were at every event this year in South Carolina, and same goes for all the anglers that came to the national and just fished our events this year. Now that we're pretty much wound down, except I think the only other event we have the rest of the year is Phillips Open down in Georgia.
I asked Zach. He said he's trying to schedule one on November 11th.
Oh, okay. So he's going to have one as well.
In Louisiana.
Cool. Good deal. So, yeah. Veterans Day. Good deal.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Well, maybe we'll have a couple more. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, we're winding down. So thank you to everybody that's been involved, whether you're a fisherman or not. I mean, we've got people that watch this show that don't even fish with us, that just watch to support the organization. Thank you to those folks too. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think next year is going to be bigger and better. I think every year is going to continue to grow, and
no doubt.
couldn't do it without all these guys, for sure.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, good deal, man. Well, we'll let you get to it. I know you've had a long day. We'll get you out of here, and we'll send everybody on their way soon.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Man.
Good night.
All right, you too.
All righty, guys. That was Jeremiah Jensen, winner of the national championship. I'm still calling myself the net man. I was just Gage in spirit. That's all I was. I was just doing what Gage would have done.
I see a net man on that boat.
No, Gage catches them. He tells me every time. Jeremiah was telling me Gage is one of his dudes that just always pulls off a random, just big one. He always has key fish, and that's what it takes to have a good partnership. I mean, somebody's dedicated to one thing, somebody dedicated to the other, and we didn't really talk about it a lot. But one thing I was focused on, like kind of part of the day, is I was throwing the rock crawler, so he was throwing that square bill up a little shallower, and I was kind of parallel on the deeper edge a little bit.
Yep.
And definitely played off a couple times for us, both ways. But it was a great time for sure. It was definitely a great time. But everybody, real quick, that we got in here, if y'all have not done the giveaway, the like, share, comment, hashtag DSITREP, go ahead and get in that real quick. We'll go over our upcoming events. So potentially we have one coming up. Zach, let me know when you get that information lined out for November 11th if you're going to do one down there on Toledo Bend. But we have one already locked in on 23 November, Lake Hartwell out of the Gum Branch ramp on the Georgia side, with our Georgia director, Philip Hunt. And that is a benefit tournament for the Madison County Shop with a Cop event. So please, if you guys are around that area and want to get out on Hartwell, jump in. November 23rd on Hartwell should be starting to get pretty fired up. It should be a fun event. I definitely think it would be a fun event. Right before Thanksgiving, go, burn some crankbaits, burn some topwaters maybe if they're still eating them, and then go eat a bunch of food.
Burn some calories before you eat food.
Yeah, burn some calories before you load up on the carbs for sure. Yes, sir. But we'll go ahead. We've gave everybody a few seconds here. Nobody is jumping in on the giveaway, so any additional giveaways. So we will go ahead and share that screen. Giveaway tool. Boom. Yep, there it is. We got 15 entries tonight. This is October, so we're in a new month, so there's no limits to who can win it. Hopefully this thing stops trying to pick the same people over and over again, though. Tom Fulmer, good. We don't have to ship. Well, I guess you got to ship the shirt, but the barbecue sauce I can hand deliver. Thanks.
Just get his shirt size and color that he wants.
For sure, I'll hit him up. I'll get it to you. Yep, Mr. Tom Fulmer. I don't know if he's still in here. Tom, if you're still in here, thanks for playing with us and watching with us. He's definitely been one of our devoted supporters since day one of doing the podcast. So thank you, Mr. Fulmer. I hate the way it goes back to that screen. Thank you, Mr. Fulmer, and thank you everybody that's watched since the beginning. It's been fun. I really like doing this. It's been a blast for sure.
It has. It's been a good time.
Yep. We don't have anything lined up for next week yet. It's been kind of hectic. Sorry, we've been kind of off for 3 weeks as well. Getting ready for the national. We had a lot going on. Both Nick and I both. And we don't have anything lined up for next week unless you do. I don't.
No, I could see maybe getting Kurt Shaw second place.
Yeah, let's talk to them next week. And then we're potentially going to bi-weekly shows. It's just a lot with our daily lives. Me and Nick both have families and everything. It's just running the tournament, running the organization, running our states, and doing this every Sunday is starting to weigh on us pretty good. So we bit off a little more than we could chew, I guess. But it's been a blast. But I think we're going to eventually go back to or go down to bi-weekly, so doing it every other week.
Which will be easier to get stuff scheduled too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. So if we end up doing it this coming weekend with Kershaw and them, the second place team, then we'll probably announce our final decision on that next weekend.
Yeah, that'll be a good show too. He fishes. I'm pretty sure he said he fishes the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals.
Cool.
So,
Good deal. Well, before we wrap this all the way up, something I felt inclined to do. I think at the end of each show, I'm going to share a little Bible verse and just kind of have a little thing to it. So, so most of the folks sitting here with us in this show and in our organization are military first responders. I mean, that's our target audience. We have civilians involved, no doubt. And this can apply to, I'm not saying that this only applies to military and first responders. But I know like me and you, Nick, as military guys, we definitely know the trials that we go through throughout our life on a daily basis, monthly, whatever it is. We all face circumstances that are hard to deal with. And one of the verses I want to read to people to kind of help, it's helped me through some challenging times throughout my life. And I think it means something for sure. So one of the big things is, think of it like this, guys. Like when you go to the gym and you lift weights, you're ripping all the little fibers and stuff in your muscles, and you're tearing them down. You're breaking them down for them to grow back stronger. So think of the trials and tribulations in your life like lifting weights. Things are going to come upon you. You're going to get beat up a little bit here and there every once in a while, and then you're going to get better because of it. So the big thing is we can rejoice to, this is Romans chapter 5, verse 3 through 5. Yep. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance. And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And this hope will not lead to disappointment, for we know how dearly God loves us, because he has given us the Holy Spirit to fill our hearts with his love. So the big thing is the trials and tribulations that you go through in your daily life is him bringing things upon you just to make you stronger, better, and build you in your maturity. I don't know why I felt called to do that tonight, but I did, and I think I'm going to do it every time we have a show.
I'm glad you did. And if you are going through stuff, you can always reach out to anybody in this organization.
Absolutely.
Phones are always on. Absolutely.
Hit me up. Hit Nick up. Everybody obviously knows our connection with For His Glory Outdoors and Bobby Edwards. Hit that man up. Gage Spagnolia, the chief of operations, Jeremiah's partner, is the chief of operations for His Glory Outdoors as well. I know that man is a man of God willing to be in here as well. That's what the brotherhood is about, getting around, hanging out at the national championship, but it's also about being there for each other to lean on. We all go through stuff. It is what it is. But be there for each other and don't be scared to say, hey, this is what I got going on, boss. And get that out, because that helps. Yep. I promise. Definitely helps. But yeah, I don't really have anything else, Nick.
No, we're good.
Another?
I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. No, I'm good.
Oh, good. All right. Well, y'all have a great week. May the Lord be with you, and y'all just have a fantastic week. Hopefully we'll see you next Sunday at 7. Remember, it's not just a tournament. It's a brotherhood. See y'all.